Hello and welcome to the new episode of Sarodi and Sarodi Co Limited. I have been trying to record this episode for so long and it has annoyed me to death because they are celebrating Ganpati. I can understand why they are like really excited, but the lady next door, she is so loud. She's so loud. Even when I'm talking to the mic, sometimes the mic does not catch my own sound. But sometimes she shouts, like she speaks, and the mic is like, yeah, I hear her. It's very annoying, that lady. She whispers and dogs start barking. Like every time she talks, like bats come around and they're like, hey, hi, how are you? Like that's the decibel she's been speaking in. Like she can have real conversation with bats. It's very annoying. And finally they have left. I can understand they are celebrating something important, and I understand, but like guys, you need to keep it down. I'm trying to record a podcast here. It's been 100 takes now, and this is my 101st take, and it's damn annoying because now it feels like I am reciting what I have been saying for the past 50 times. It's very weird. A couple of days ago, here in Asangao, I am in Asangao. For people who don't know Asangao, I am sure you have boarded a train from Dadar to Asangao, and you have got down at Ghatkopar, Thane, Dombivli, Kalyan. You fuckers, you assholes. Why do you get in Asangao trains when you don't want to go to Asangao? Do you know how far away Asangao is from Dadar? It's 2.5 hour long ride. And every time I have to come here from Kalwa, I have to smell armpits of people who are, getting down at Dombivli and Kalyan. It's very annoying. Like, go to a Kalyan train or get into a Dombivli train. First of all, what the fuck is Dombivli? Like, what is Dombivli? Like, Dombivli is like, it's a place that has been magically, like, every time you go to Dombivli, you are like going in circles. Every time you go there, you are going in circles and you end up at the same place every time. Every street in Dombivli looks exactly the same. And to top it off, there is a vada pav stall on every street. And every time you are trying to give somebody a landmark, you're like, hi, I'm standing next to a vada pav stall. And the other guy is like, yeah, I am also standing next to a vada pav stall. Oh, then where are you then? Because everywhere in Dombivli there is a vada pav stall. The whole place, the whole town, entire Dombivli is a huge vada pav stall. It's very weird, man. It's going to rain again. And a couple of days ago, here in Asangao, I was sitting here and it was raining cats and dogs. Like, just before it started raining, the lady who gives me the tiffin, she texted me, come and get the food. I put it off for a while. I put it off for too long, and then it started to like the weather started to show signs of like a thunderstorm, and that's when I left. There is some disturbance in the mic. I'll have to check, but I went down. I did not use the lift. I went there. I got the tiffin. I came back, and it was like raining very, very heavily by the time I got here. And the thunder just did not stop at all. The thunder would not stop. And that's when I knew that the electricity is going to get cut. I would not trust the lift to, go upstairs and downstairs. Even when the electricity, I have like the signs of electricity seem good. And I did not get in because I knew the electricity would cut off, knowing my luck, when I am in there. So I walked up 4 stories, 5 stories, and turns out as I was on the second story, the lift and the electricity got cut off. and the lift stopped in the middle. See, that's thunder. There's going to be another thunderstorm and the light is going to go away again. But this is what happens in horror films. But the only difference is the characters in horror films, they get in voluntarily. Characters in horror films get into situations that will get them killed voluntarily. Like, oh, is the lift going to stop midway? Sign me up. I will go into that death box. It's very weird, man. Some of the choices these characters in these films make. Like, I was watching a film called The Ouija Board. A week earlier, some friends and we were at my friend's place and we watched 3 horror films back to back. The first film that we watched was called The Ouija Board, Origin of the Evil. Ouija, Origin of the Evil. And it was such a shit film. And some of the whole point of the story, from what I could tell, was that's the moral of the story of Ouija Board, Origin of Evil, is men will do anything for pussy. That's the moral of the story. Like this guy, there's this guy, okay, and a little girl who is talking to souls using the Ouija board, and her mother is like, go talk to souls, it is very good. Her reaction to her daughter talking to random souls using a Ouija board was so normal. She used to trick people into believing that they used a Ouija board and they were talking to souls so that they could supposedly help those people. And now her daughter is actually talking to souls and she's like, wow, that is good for business. She did not care that this little girl is talking to some random souls of like demons and like fucking ghosts. And so the lady who runs this shop has a little daughter who gets possessed and an elder sister. This elder sister has this thing going, okay, with this guy, and this guy comes over and he's just about to make out with the girl. And as soon as he's about to kiss the girl, the little girl walks in. The possessed girl walks in and she interrupts the kiss. She goes downstairs and he also goes downstairs, and they both talk for a moment. And this girl, she asks him, do you know what it's like to be choked to death? If some random girl, especially a white girl who looks very creepy, asked me what it's like to be choked, I would lock her up and run the other way. And this guy is just staring at her, and then he leaves. And after that, he should not have showed up ever again in and around that house. And he comes back. You know why? Because the elder sister, he had some unfinished business and he wanted to get laid. He wanted to finish that business. So he comes back to this haunted fucking house where the girl is showing clear signs of being a maniac. And the girl kills this guy. The little girl who's possessed by a ghost kills this guy. And you know what the reaction of her elder sister is when she sees his, the guy she has been all over in the entire first half of the movie? You know what her reaction is when she sees his dead body hanging in front of her? Oh my god! Anyway, what were we talking about, guys? She did not give 2 fucks about him. And they were like, oh my god, he's died. Let's see what's going on with the little sister. They just moved on. The other thing that really annoyed me in that film was how the father, the one who's supposed to exorcise the little girl, told them that their girl is possessed by some demon or some soul. The whole time he told them about the story behind her daughter getting possessed, he was smiling. He was like, your daughter is possessed by by a ghost, and we are going to die, she's going to die, you are going to die, everybody is going to die. That's how he said. He was smiling the entire time. Such terrible actors in the film. What an annoying film. Speaking of like getting laid and all, I installed Bumble, and I got Bumble Premium, by the way. And the only reason I got Bumble Premium was I always had a suspicion that my face is the problem when it comes to dating. And I wanted to validate that suspicion. Turns out my suspicion was absolutely spot on. I had Bumble Premium, I had all that I had Spotlight, which makes, so basically when you switch on the Spotlight, the Bumble, what is that called? The Bumble thing, it shows your profile to everybody in the area or whatever. So you are on the top of the swiping thing around your area. That I had like 5 super likes, which I used every time. And how many matches I have? 1. Bumble Premium, thank you for nothing. It is such a waste of money, but then I blame myself. Why did I expect to have anything? I paid money to get this thing, and it was just to validate my theory, and my theory has been validated. It is my face, and now I am in complete terms with my ugliness, which is a good thing. Now I can move on. Now I can basically get away from dating, which is like, now I know that there is no point in this. It's completely useless. So it's all worked out perfectly. It's not like I didn't want to, but then sometimes you have to accept it. You have too many pimples on your face, accept it and move on. Just move on. That's how life is. I every time I point out my lean body, the 0 size figure that does not maintain itself, I don't know why I'm surprised. I should not be surprised. I am very happy though. I have finally moved on from everything that revolves around dating. Anyway, the Queen of England died. England or whatever, UK, I don't know. I can never tell the difference between UK, England, the Great Britain. All of it sounds exact. The fuck was that? Just give me a minute, I'll come back. This is what was happening when the lights went out and I was pissing my pants. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'll cut this out, but then it's scary living here alone. And that day there were no lights. And the problem that day was, a couple of days ago my friends had come here, and the next door neighbors, they have a kid. Okay, he's also around the same age as the little girl from Ouija board, the horror film that I watched. And every time we went out, he was just lingering around. Every time we showed any signs of going out, he was there. And these guys, they were like, dude, look out for this kid, he might be possessed, man. And they fucked off. And I was here. Every time I went out, he was there, and I freaked out. And the light was not there. It was totally dark, and he could have strangled me to death then. There might be some audio issues in this episode. I can feel it. I can feel it in the monitor. You'll have to deal with it. It's been too long. I have been trying to record this podcast for too long. Yeah, the Queen of England died. And I don't know why people are so surprised. She was 96. Like, what did you expect her to do? Was she going to do somersaults? She was 96, man. What do 96-year-old people do? What are 96-year-old people capable of doing? Nothing, apart from dying. That's the last thing that they can do. That's the first and the last thing that a 96-year-old woman can do. And I don't get it. I don't get it why people are like, her contributions to the country were great. I don't know what her contributions were. All I saw about, like, when I saw the Queen of England, was she was smiling and she waved at people, and she had amazing hats. The Queen of England had amazing hats. I'll give her that. Her fashion sense was impeccable and she knew how to pick out hats. Pink hats, whatever clothes she's wearing, her hat matched the clothes perfectly. She had amazing sense of fashion. But apart from that, what did she do? She had blue hats, green hats, yellow hats, all kinds of hats. But apart from picking hats, what exactly was her contribution to this world? Like, what is the great... I don't get it. I might get a little shtick for, talking about dead people illy, if that's a word. But it is what it is, man. I don't know. I don't care sitting here in India, a queen from England or whatever the place she's from, who colonized us like 70 years ago. I don't care about her dying. Like, she was there when it was going on. I think 96-year-old. She was there when the colonization was going on, and she knew. So I don't care about her going. For all I know, she was a bitch. And I'm not sad about her going. I'm not happy about it either. A lot of people who make memes, they are really happy because like she's finally dead. I'm not. I don't care. I'm indifferent to the fact. I've been watching a lot of Modern Family. It's such a great series. I was rewatching it actually. I watched it a couple of 100 times, and now I'm watching it again. It's very, very fun. The way it's written, it's so good. But speaking of good shows, I watched the 3rd episode of House of Dragons, and I love Damon Targaryen. He's so good. The actor is good. It's written very well. And the things that they are doing with the show now, like everything that they did in the Game of Thrones series that they knew really worked well, they have doubled down on it. Like all the creepiness, all the violence, all the incest, everything they have doubled down on. And I don't know, I feel there's a little sexual tension between Rhaenyra and Daemon, and that's really off-putting, because it's very uncomfortable. Daemon is supposed to be her uncle, but this is what I'm talking about. They're like trying to marry off a 2-year-old Aegon Targaryen to somebody, and they're trying to marry a 12-year-old kid to the king. The show has doubled down on everything that they knew worked back then. And honestly, in a very creepy way, I love it. I love the whole show, not the incest and the pedophilia, not that. I love the show as a whole. And I think, from everything that I have seen so far, from everything that I've seen so far in House of Dragons, I really think George R.R. Martin needs some therapy. Because these thoughts, like, who writes down on a paper that a 2-year-old kid is going to marry a 40-year-old lady or something? Who writes that? Like, it's damn creepy, dude. George R.R. Martin, you need to get some therapy, because all these thoughts that you have and you put down on paper, it's not normal. But I'll tell you what, George, you write the whole book, you finish the entire series, and then you start getting therapy. Because otherwise, everything that makes the show great would get fucked. So you finish the book first and then get therapy, because you need therapy, man. All those thoughts, you fucked up thoughts you have, get cured of them after you have written the show. And the book. I've been reading the book, and the book is so well written. He's damn good. George R.R. Martin writes very well. And I'll even argue that it's sometimes better than watching the show. Even though it's exactly the same thing, because the way he describes little things, it's amazing, man. It's beautifully written, and I love the show. Daemon Targaryen is amazing. He's an amazing character, and that's the guy I'm rooting for, even though he does not seem to have a great moral compass. But something about him, it tells me that he's going to be there for a while, and he has a claim to the throne. Anyways, we'll come to the important news, and the footballing world finally. Thomas Tuchel or Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel got sacked after his. I wouldn't say that was a blunder from him in the UCL. It's the first game, man. You should have given him some time. The poor guy spent 264 million or something more, I think. They almost spent 300 million in this transfer window to get players of Tuchel's liking. They got Aubameyang. Poor Aubameyang, who thought that he was going to play with Tuchel. It is so sad. Like, Aubameyang played 56 minutes for Thomas Tuchel, and Tuchel was like, hey, you had a great game. And somebody was like, sir, I have a bad news. And Aubameyang is like just looking at him. What is it? You are fired. Oh my God. And Aubameyang must be freaking out right now. Aubameyang would not be in a great mood. And Graham Potter is going to have to deal with so much shit in Chelsea. But I think from what I've heard, that a lot of players were unhappy with Tuchel, and the management was and Tuchel can be a bitch sometimes, and that's what has led to his downfall, really. In all the clubs that he has been to, he is very temperamental, and that's something that we already know about him. So I don't know, maybe it's a good thing, but at least go till December or something. The January transfer window would have come around. He would have got enough time, and the fans wouldn't have turned on the fan. What the fuck was that? See, there's all kinds of noises here, and it's just about to rain, and everything is going to get creepy now. Anyways, I think the fans wouldn't have turned on management thinking that this is exactly like the Roman Abramovich era where, they just fired managers for the fun of it. They would have thought that Todd Bowley had a plan, and they would have, probably supported him, because I don't think, maybe Tuchel would have got something by December, but if he didn't, then there would have been some logical reasonings that the fans would have understood for him getting sacked. Now we are only 5 games in the season and 1 game in the Champions League, and they have already sacked him, which makes the management look very stupid. And I don't know, if Graham Potter were to succeed, it would be good for Chelsea, but I think Todd had a long-term plan. Maybe what he tried here was to establish that we had a long-term plan, but it backfired, because this is very reminiscent of what happened during the Abramovich era. So he did not time it perfectly. If he had done this in December or something, I think Potter would have, some players that he could sign, and he could have made this squad a little, familiar to his liking. Now he just has to play with people that Tuchel had bought for him. I don't know how successful he will be at that, and I just hope that Chelsea fans don't turn on him. I don't care about Chelsea, honestly. I like it when they're losing. I love it. But I don't know, something. It's good to see a great manager, get developed. That's what I liked about Ten Hag. Ten Hag wasn't a marquee, a very well-known manager, if you will. But everybody knew that his tactics worked at Ajax, and that's what got them to the semi-finals back in 2018-19, if I'm not wrong. And it is good to see some new prospects come to the top 4, top 5 clubs of the Premier League, because it makes the Premier League more competitive. Now, Tuchel was a great tactician by all accounts, but it just did not work out very well with the management. So I don't know. It's on Graham Potter now. It's all on him, and I think he will manage. The pressure is immense, but I think it's a good kind of pressure. You have come from a club that has been doing very well under you, and you have some confidence because you got this club to top, although it's very very early in the season, but you have got your club that was not very competitive for the longest time to the top 4 for however long it might be. And now that must give them some confidence. But Brighton has Lallana as their new manager, which is hilarious. I love it. Oh my god, poor Brighton, man. It's kind of unfair to them, honestly, because they were doing so well under Potter, and they were playing they were actually playing some good football. And now he's gone, and now there's a player manager in Adam Lallana. And I don't think, like, unless Lallana is some tactical genius or something, and Potter would have taught him everything that he knows about football, there is no way Brighton are going to retain their position in top 4. There's some noise coming from outside. I'll go check and I'll come back. I honestly still have no clue what that noise is, and that's going to keep me up at night. But I will carry on with the podcast. That's the second cut. But I think this was much better than the last one. The last one was a disaster when I recorded it, and I'm too, all my energy has been drained, and now I can't record it again. This is the most amount of commitment that I have. And I have committed to this podcast. I went home yesterday. I could have stayed there, and I could have uploaded the shit episode, but I chose to come back and record this again because I am committed. If nothing, you should give me that. If only my mom is only watching, even then I am committed to this. So, and by the way, the next episode is going to be very very special from my conversations with one of my friends, because I think I might have a guest on the next episode. So you hold your horses or whatever if you are watching, and if you are actually excited to see the next episode. But there is going to be something special. It's going to be fun. The first guest on the podcast. Anyway, coming back to football, Tuchel's gone, Graham Potter is on the wheel, and now we come back to the dreaded match that we saw yesterday. I don't think a lot of people saw it, honestly, because it's the fucking UEL who watches the Europa League. I don't know why I watch the Europa League, just because it's Manchester United. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. But Ronaldo started the game, and he was bitchy the whole time, I must say. And he did not convert. He's too slow. He is not as sharp as he was in the last season. I know that this is Ronaldo we are talking about. So I don't think he's going to give up that easy. But yesterday he looked very, very hungry. And he was really, really trying too hard. And he was very predictable. And the defenders could read him. And that's what kept him at bay. They kept him at bay very well. And I'll tell you what, I don't think this drought is going to last. I think Ronaldo will start sooner rather than later, or otherwise he will go to Chelsea in January. That's what I've heard, because Todd Bowley, apparently one of the prime reasons that he fired Tuchel is because he opposed signing Ronaldo very strongly, Tuchel, and Todd Bowley really wanted to get that marquee signing in. So if he does not get enough time, and he is desperate for time, because without it, look at him play. It's very clear that he does not have the legs right now to play 90 minutes. It's very, very clear that he's not that sharp. He's not able to move very well. And then because Fred was also on. That's what I heard. I was also, watching Goldbridge's reaction, because Fred was playing somewhere in the midfield position that he usually does not play. Ronaldo had to drop in deep, and instead of being in a position where he can get the shots in to the back of the net, he was coming in deep and helping out the midfield and trying to create chances that are meant for him. So the chances that he creates, there's nobody to finish it. So that's the problem right now with Ronaldo. I think that Fred being in the team caused Ronaldo some problems. But Ronaldo himself was a problem, I will tell you that, because he was very, very whiny, and I don't like watching him right now. When Ronaldo is not scoring, he's not a very good sight to watch. He's not a pleasant sight. And I hope he just starts scoring again and gets back his confidence, because being benched also did not help him. And now he is really, really desperate to get the first goal. I think once he gets his first goal, he'll be up and running, and he will get whatever 16, 17 goals that he had in the last season again this season. There is no doubt about it, because even last year he came to Old Trafford somewhere around August, I think. I don't know when he started for Manchester United in the last season, and he also had a 6-game drought in January. So it's not new for Ronaldo to have these problems, and I think he will cope with it very soon if he gets enough time. But I don't see Erik ten Hag playing him again, because Marcus Rashford is in scintillating form right now. He's scoring goals, he's back in the score sheet. Even Sancho is in good form. The attacking options that are quality will play in the Premier League. So I don't think Ronaldo will start anytime soon, but he will have to earn his spot back. And yesterday he did not do that. Yesterday he did not do much to earn his spot back. He put in some work, I'll give him that. He had put in some work yesterday, but I don't think it's enough. Harry Maguire, he's just too slow. Every time he had the ball, I was holding my breath. And that's what I heard from every fan. I was watching Adam Makola's reaction, and this is not even influenced by his reaction, I must tell you. Every time Harry Maguire had the ball, I was actually grasping my breath, clinging on to it, because I knew that if he were to make a mistake, they would capitalize. I'm not saying they are a quality side. They missed a couple of chances. They are quality, but not that great. I mean, how great are you if you are playing in the UAL, which is the first question. So you have faced some good Premier League sides in the first 6 matches. So this seems a little easier. This seems like something that you could easily win, and that's why Ten Hag did not play his first team, and you could see the difference. And every time Harry Maguire had the ball, that's what Adam Makola on his channel said, that the entire stadium, because he was in the stadium when the match was going on, he was at Old Trafford, and he said the entire Old Trafford had their breath. They were holding on to it very keenly, because Harry Maguire had the ball, and he did not look very sharp, honestly. And until Lisandro Martinez came, I did not think the defense was doing very well. And the penalty that they got, that Real Sociedad got, was a joke. It was just pure shit refereeing. Even I can tell that even I can tell from a very limited knowledge of football that was not a penalty. That was clearly not a penalty. He had his arms like this. The ball hit his leg first and then his arm. It was not a penalty. I don't know. I'm not very gutted by the loss yesterday, although it should have been a sure victory. I am not really gutted by it. It wasn't a brilliant performance. It wasn't great, but Real Sociedad weren't that great either. And if they hadn't got that penalty, a 0-0 draw would have been okay. Ronaldo was on offside positions a lot, and every time some chance got created, he was flagged, and the other times he got chances, he could not finish it. Like, he got a good header that was delivered by Eriksen, who actually had a good game. Eriksen actually was the only player who had a good game in the Manchester United squad apart from Lisandro Martinez, and the penalty that he conceded was very unfortunate for him, and I do not think it was supposed to be a penalty. And Lisandro Martinez, I stand by him, because he was actually very good apart from all that. Casemiro gave the ball away too easily at times, many times. Casemiro came in, he won the ball and then gave it away immediately, which was, I don't know, man. For a 60 million player, I know he's still adjusting with the pace and all. But if I'm not wrong, isn't Real Sociedad supposed to be a La Liga team? I don't know. Then I don't know why he was struggling. Maybe because he's not very fit yet, and that's why Ten Hag did not start him in Premier League. So I hope Casemiro has better games, because this was not a very good display on his part. And again, Tyrell Malacia had a decent game. Everybody had a decent game, if I'm being totally honest. Anthony was getting a little bullied, because the duel, as the commentators would say, it was won by the short guy. I don't know, somebody from Real Sociedad who was covering Anthony. But I'll tell you what, it was not terrible as well, because we have seen Manchester United at their worst, and this was not the worst performance that they have put in. So I'm not really very, very sad by this loss. It's okay, sometimes it happens, but I don't know, that penalty wasn't supposed to be a penalty. It should have been a 0-0 draw. That's all I'm saying. They should not have won. It would have been a draw, and we would have criticized players for getting a draw, but that controversial goal is what exempted all these Manchester United players of a lot of blame. And Lisandro Martinez had a great game. No matter what you say, the penalty conceded, it was a good game for Martinez. The butcher is very much at Old Trafford. And Eriksen had a good game. That's what the commentators were also saying, that he was like a ghost, every time. Nobody knows where he is. Nobody from the opposition side knows where he is. He just slips into pockets of spaces that he wants, and nobody knows he's there. That's what's amazing about Christian Eriksen, and the quality that he has on the ball. He's going to be the difference between a lot of games that we win. That's what I think. Anyways, I think that's about it. We had some good matches actually in the UCL a couple days ago, and Champions League is any day better to watch. Haaland scored 2 goals. Somebody needs to stop this kid, man. He's just too good. He's everywhere. He just knows how to be on that score sheet. Mbappe was also on the score sheet, which I'm not very thrilled by. I'm not a fan of Mbappe. Mbappe is a bitch. I don't like him, honestly, but he's a talent. And the way he finished those 2 chances, it was incredible. Like on a volley, if I'm not wrong. And the pass by Neymar, that assist by Neymar, the first assist was actually exquisite. Like, it was actually a beautiful ball. And that's what I like from all these games. Every game I watch apart from Manchester United, the only thing I like is Neymar is doing amazing. He's right now unstoppable. And that's what brings me a little joy in all of this mess that is going on. Like, yesterday was a mess for United. And then again, the Premier League matches have been cancelled, like postponed. So it's very sad right now, because the matches have been postponed because of the Queen's death. Apparently it's a 10-day mourning in Britain or whatever, wherever this is. I just don't know where England, I don't know. But it's a 10-day morning, so maybe there are 2 games will be cancelled postponed for United, for every team actually. So I don't know. It's not very fun to be a football fan right now, especially a Manchester United fan or a Premier League side fan. So you can take solace in the fact that Neymar is doing good if you are a Neymar fan. Neymar is doing amazingly. Also, Ousmane Dembele is also doing very well. All these players who are coming back from injury and like some real problems, like Neymar or Dembele or even Christian Eriksen for that matter, because of his condition. It's so good to see them play amazingly. And Dembele is an unstoppable force right now. He's just there doing his thing. It's amazing. It's fun to watch UCL right now. It's very early stages, but it's going to be fun. And all these matches that are going to come up is going to be very, 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 very fun. Anyways, I will sign off on that. And it's been an okay episode of podcast. Honestly, if you had heard the last one, it was terrible, and this one is a lot better. So I'll take the consolation and I will put this out there, because it's not hard to record. It's not that easy to record like top quality. I'm not saying that the last 3 episodes were top quality, but according to me, like for my standards, for the bars that I have set, those were quality episodes of podcast. Like for me, I'm just learning how to do this shit. I am learning how to talk to the camera and all of that. So it was not that bad. And considering all those 3, this is like a little, not that great. But the last one was terrible. So that's why I decided to re-record. And I'm up to 42 minutes here, which is not bad. I'll take that as a consolation and I will sign off. Thank you for listening, if you are listening, and if you have stuck it through to till the end. Thank you for listening to me. I'm very grateful for all the support that you are giving me. This is Sarodi on Sarodi and Sarodi Co Limited. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you.